Now, I'm not even going to include race in it, even though we all know that race, even if you don't want to admit it, we all know race plays at least a part, just a part, at the very least, in the Cowboys' decision to waive Lucky Whitehead. Okay? Let's go through the series of events. He was erroneously reported to have been arrested, I believe it was, for shoplifting. This report came out. It was on ESPN. As a matter of fact, I had a friend of mine text me about this just a couple of hours ago, still under the belief that he had been arrested for shoplifting. And nearly immediately after this was reported, the Dallas Cowboys released him. Soon afterward, it was brought to everyone's attention, though not to the extent that the initial report was brought up. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that the clarification didn't get nearly as much attention as the initial report, which was erroneous and damaging to Mr. Whitehead. But the clarification was that it was another individual, and not Mr. Whitehead, who was arrested for shoplifting. He had nothing to do with that. The Dallas Cowboys choose to save face. Said we made a business decision. Head coach, reiterated the position. We made the right business decision, and we're going to move on from there. We're adamant. We made the right decision. Yada yada yada. Saving face. When in reality, they fucked up. They've had this happen before. They've had players who have been on the wrong side of the law in recent years and in not so recent years, going all the way back to the Cowboys dynasty of the 90s. But at least with that situation, they were winning. They were going to the playoffs and winning Super Bowls. So winning trumps everything. So that was sort of swept under the rug. But in recent years, you've had incidents where players were arrested for shoplifting. I think a player a couple years ago was arrested for the same thing. Only thing that was different was that he actually did it. Then you had Pac-Man Jones with his shenanigans, and therefore, so they made a knee-jerk reaction to the news and fired the guy. Now, even if you don't want to include race in it, right, you have to say at the very least that he was fired because of that report. Or released, but it's the same thing, fired. And that's wrong. And I support his legal action, and he should get some type of compensation for that. I think he's thinking about either suing the Dallas Cowboys or the police department that was supposedly the one that had arrested him. But I think he's better off suing the Dallas Cowboys because they're the ones that made the wrong decision. They're the ones that fired him. I guess you can go for wrongful termination. You see what I'm saying? I guess he could sue the police department too because they had put out an erroneous report, which also affected his career by him being released. But it's wrong. It's wrong. I don't understand why the Cowboys just won't say, we messed up. Come back to our team. We messed up. We believe this report. This report was wrong. And we made a judgment based on morals clauses. And, we've been through this situation before, and we made the decision based on the expected moral fiber of our players, and that was wrong. The report, you did not have anything to do with that, and therefore we like to reissue a contract to you. If anything, maybe they should even add some money to whatever the hell, whatever. They're not going to do that, but it's wrong. And I'm just going to say this too, man. I've never liked the Dallas Cowboys. I know that the Dallas Cowboys has a humongous fan base. They probably have the biggest fan base of any team in America. But they have a really bad history when it comes to, in my opinion, just my opinion, the way they sometimes treat African American players. And this is something that I've felt for quite a while now, going all the way back to probably the 1970s. But it's I think it's really precipitated. Not precipitated. What am I trying to say? It's really I can't think of the word I'm trying to use right now. But it's really has increased since Jerry Jones took over the club in 1989, and I don't know. I always suspect Jerry Jones is a little bit, he's put it like this. He's a good old boy. So that being said, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think. Oh yeah. Also, Lucky Whitehead said that he. When he was approached by the Dallas Cowboys of the allegations, that he told them that he did not partake in what was alleged of him, and the Cowboys, in his words, pretty much called him a liar. He has since been exonerated. The Cowboys owe him an apology. But you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to say it. If anybody thinks that an organization like that is going to give him a sincere apology, sincere now, not some legalistic thing, but sincere apology, you got one thing coming. The Good Old Boy Network, they're not going to apologize to no nigger.